encouraging, inspiring, and empowering mothers on their parenting journey. Welcome to the OHbaby podcast. Being a mum can be overwhelming and unrelenting, we know. Each episode, we'll be bringing you the top tips, advice, and words of wisdom from experts and industry leaders to help you navigate your own path. It's the information you can trust. Mama, you got this.
Hello and welcome to the OHbaby podcast. I'm Angela Harter, founder of OHbaby, and today I have the pleasure of talking with Plunketline clinical leader, mother of 4 adult children and 3 grandchildren, Linda Wallace. Hi, Linda.
Hi. Hi. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's so good to have you. We, for those of you who haven't, been around for a while, the OHbaby podcast is back. We're back. We've been delaying this podcast for a couple of weeks now for, lots of, actual real life parenting, mum life stuff. And then the day we decided to record it, I've got a bit of a flu. So just at the tail end. So bear with if there's coughing, if I sound like a frog. I'm okay. Totally. I'm in my own bubble. There's no one else here. I'm not going to get anyone else. And so we're between calls on a Zoom meeting. Where are you based, Linda?
Yeah. I'm based in Wellington.
Oh, so there you go. There's lots of good distancing there between us.
Perfect. No super spreaders here today.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Lovely to meet you. So you've got a long history with Plunket yourself. Tell me more about you.
Yeah, so I started working for Plunket, Whānau Plunket, back in 2000, end of 2000. I started out in the community, working as a Plunket nurse in the community for a couple of years, and then went to Plunketline. And around 2007, I took a year off and went and had to go at Healthline. They sort of had a well child line going there at the time, so I spent 12 months working there, and then decided that Whānau Plunket was actually where my heart was. So came back and have been here ever since. Really enjoy it. Enjoy the job that I do. And I've been in the clinical leader role, so supporting the nurses for about 7 years now, and just recently in the acting manager's role for Plunketline.
Oh, wow. Go you.
So, yeah.
Go girl.
Big step up.
That's awesome. So April is the month that we are celebrating the Plunketline 30-year birthday.
Yes.
Just as a little bit of a spiel about it from my end, because I didn't realize, now that we're doing this podcast, I've done a little bit more research. It was like, oh my gosh, like 30 years, that's amazing. It takes over 100,000 calls every year. It's available 24/7 as a parenting service for whānau and families and caregivers for under 5s. Listeners, just so you know, the phone number for the Plunketline is 0800 933 922. I feel like I'm one of those, those direct marketing. 0800 933 922. The thing is, what you get at the other end of that line is flipping awesome.
Yes, it's not a buy one get one free.
It's not a buy one get one free, but you'll get peace of mind. You'll get advice.
Yeah.
You'll feel listened to. You'll feel heard. You'll feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. Someone's there to help me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty special. And you get to talk to a registered nurse, and you don't need mobile data, and you don't need to be in Plunket, yeah?
No, that's right. So anyone where, the 0800 number for all under 5s. So you don't need to be a Plunket client to use us. We're happy to help support anyone who's got questions or concerns about their, puppy under 5.
Oh, beautiful. That's so good. So I hear you have staff around the country. How does that work?
Yeah, so we've got 3 main call centres. So we've got a call centre in Wellington, and then 2 in Auckland, one in Takapuna on the North Shore, and then one in Westfield over in South Auckland. And then we also have staff who work from home, so they've got an office set up at home. And we've got them all throughout the country. And I'd love to be able to travel around and spend time with each of them. I think that would be amazing. We've got staff in Alexandra down south, Dunedin, Christchurch, right up to the far north in the North Island. So, yeah, spread far and wide. If they've got a good internet connection, then, they can do the job.
Yeah, I feel like because I remember having talked to Steph, who's also one of your Plunketline nurses. She's at-home mum as well, so it's kind of like feeding into the ethos of being good for families. So you're working in with family life and
absolutely. It works really well. And we've got different shift times, and so it works for the staff. And we have a good range of staff. So we've got younger staff, like Steph, who are going through their parenting journey, at the moment, right through to sort of older staff who are perhaps sort of, winding up their nursing career, and and everyone in between.
Yeah, that sounds so good. So good. And you have nurses that can speak in other languages too. How does that work?
Yeah, we do. So we've got some nurses who speak different dialect for mainly the Indian cultures at the moment, but anyone who rings in who has English as a second language and would like to speak in their native tongue, then if we haven't got a staff member on who can speak that language, then we'll use the interpreting service. So that's never a barrier to be using us. We will arrange for those interpreters at our cost, and absolutely there to support the families.
That's pretty awesome. I didn't know that. So that's so helpful. Sorry. Hopefully that will be the only one. So if I was to call Plunketline on 0800 933 922,
yes.
What would that look like?
Yeah. So all our nurses that work on Plunketline are registered nurses. So Plunket nurses are registered nurses, and then they do an extra year postgraduate study in child and family well health to then become a well health nurse or a Plunket nurse. So your phone's answered by a registered nurse or a Plunket nurse. And look, they're there to talk about anything or listen about anything. Anything that the parents want to ring and talk to us about, we're there. We're happy to listen. We're happy to support. We can direct you. We can find some further information if that's what you need. We can refer you to other services. It is about what you need at that particular time. So it can be about anything. Don't hesitate to call.
So what would a referral look like? Like could there be something where it's like, oh, you probably need a lactation consultant? We can arrange one through your local Plunket or
well, actually lactation consultants, we've got them with Plunketline as well. So currently what we're now doing is video conferencing support with our lactation consultants. So we have a group of trained lactation consultants or lactation specialists who are very specialised in their work around breastfeeding mums. And you can have a video session one-on-one free with them to help support or answer any questions around breastfeeding. And we're also offering it around sleep support. And for anyone who's been through the parenting journey, I think everyone's had those nights and days where your baby just will not settle and won't go to sleep. So we've got staff on who are really skilled at doing sleep support, and they can do them over video conferencing as well.
Wow.
So amazing services.
Yeah, it's like your own baby whisperer.
Yeah.
Okay, yo, help me sleep. I mean, my baby sleep.
Sleep now. We all need it. Yeah.
Oh gosh, and in those sleep deprived hours.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I just remember being so desperate for sleep. I love sleep.
So look, that's the time to ring. Reach out. The support's always there. You don't have to feel like you're alone. And like absolutely no judgment. Like everyone goes through it. We all went through it as parents, and we're there to support everyone. So
that's so cool. Feels very, yeah, like like someone's there to just
Yeah,
have back. So what
yeah,
are some of the issues that you're getting calls about on Plunketline? Breastfeeding,
yeah.
sleep?
Yep, look, breastfeeding and sleep are probably our two biggest calls. We talk at the moment, we've got sort of winter ills and chills are starting to come in slightly earlier this year. So we triage our sick and symptomatic babies as well. So, if your child's unwell, ring
Mm.
us. We can, triage, give you a plan as to what to do, help give you some guidance around looking after your baby or children while they're unwell. Yeah, and then sort of, behaviour, toilet training for sort of the older children, just supporting parents with that, giving them some ideas to try.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Now I had noted, I think I heard from someone that you also do like the starting solids advice and that kind of thing over the phone.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool
Yes.
too.
Yeah. So again, if you're not sure, what, where, when, how, where do we start, at what age, what do we give? Yeah, give us a phone call because, the nurses are there, they're happy to help support. Answer all your questions. And look, and if you need a follow-up call, in a week's time, just to see how it's all going, we do that as well. So we might sort of come up with a plan together with a family and then say, hey, look, how about in this time next week, we give you a phone back and just touch base and see how it's going. And yeah, we can make amendments if we need to, or yeah, leave you to it.
You know, one thing that I'm thinking about is like maternal postnatal health and taking a call from a mum who's potentially not had the birth that she
Yeah.
would have chosen, or maybe that was a little bit
Yeah.
traumatizing, or there's postnatal hormones going on, postnatal blues or depression. Um,
Yeah.
are those the calls that you're taking and can kind of, move through to next steps?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, yeah, looking after sort of maternal mental health, but also, family adjustment to parenting, because that's really big. And like, it can be both parents. So, both parents in the house might be struggling, to adjust to that whole thing around parenting.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're here to listen. And again, we can listen, we can help support, we can help guide you and refer you to other agencies that might be around. And again, there's no limit to how many times you can call us, or, we might talk to you in the morning, ring you back that night, see how it's going. We might ring you the next day. You might ring us the day after that. We will touch base with the families as often as they need us. And sometimes in those early weeks, it might be really frequently because there isn't anyone else for that particular family unit. And we'll do that, but we know that that will taper off. Like
Yeah.
things will come right. It will settle down. Those horrible hormones will, settle, get into place, and mum and dad, or the parents will then just be able to get on with it, and they won't need us as much. And that's great. That's what we're there for. We're to fill that gap that just seems to come.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
that's so that's such an important service. It really is
yeah,
to me. I was just
yeah,
thinking, the number of kind of mums and dads who have, family outside of their own, city,
yeah,
and kind of don't have a huge support network around them.
yeah,
First timers don't know what's hit them. And even
yeah,
second timers, like I remember going from one child to two, that was the biggest shock.
yeah. It's big, eh?
And
And
just
no,
living with that.
you can parent your kids the same, but no two children are ever going to be the same. They're not going to behave the same. And I think that in itself can be a shock for parents because you're like, what have I done differently this time round? Like baby number one slept beautifully. Baby number two doesn't know how to close its eyes. Like it never
Yeah.
sleeps. Like,
Yes.
how can I
Or
do?
like I'm trying to feed baby number two and baby number one is like high demand and jumping on me and wanting food and
Yeah,
wanting this, and oh my gosh, now she needs to poop, and
yeah,
it's like, oh
yeah.
my gosh.
What do you do? Yeah. But I
Oh,
remember going down to my sister who had her second baby, and I tucked her off to bed and said, look, you go and sleep, I've got the kids, it's fine. I had the toddler and the baby was, feeding the baby a bottle, and then I turned around and the toddler had the dishwashing liquid and was doing it all over the floor. She was getting in it and sliding. She was having a great time, and I just had to sit there and go, oh my God, I don't know what to do. You know what? She's fine. She's happy. I'll clean that mess up afterwards. The moment I need to feed the baby and sort this baby out.
So as long as it's not toxic chemicals or anything else, dishwashing liquid, go for your life.
She was having a ball sliding around the kitchen floor on it. So, you just have to learn to roll with what happens sometimes.
Yeah. It sounds like the Plunketline is really, in terms of your parenting life, it's kind of like that that number that you can call for reassurance, or your baby's got a high temperature, and you kind of know, oh well, if it's just a cold, they'll get through it, but I know that babies can go downhill. Where is the tipping point? That's I'd be wanting to call and be like, what is that tipping point? What am I looking for that takes me to go to the hospital now, or just wait it out, get the temp down,
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where we've got a really good, robust triage system. And so that's where, if you ring up with your child who's unwell, the nurse will do a triage and then give you that advice. So sort of say, look, you can manage this at home for now. These are the things we want you to either phone us back about or go to the doctor much sooner. But
Yeah. I remember calling, it might have been Plunketline or Healthline, I don't remember, but the triage is just asking lots of questions, isn't it? What the temperature is, when it drank, is it drinking, is your baby drinking, that kind of stuff, and inputs and outputs, and okay.
And look, sometimes I get it when parents are stressed and tired. Sometimes having to answer all those questions can be really difficult, but we need to ask them because we need to get that clear picture in our head about what's happening with your baby. We can't see them, we can't have hands on them. So we have to just ask those questions and get as much information as we can so that we give a safe and appropriate outcome.
So understanding the bigger picture so that you can be more specific and where to go for next steps. That's good. Very good. Awesome. So 30 years is a long time to be offering this service. What has changed and innovated with Plunketline over this time? You have alluded to some of it, but
Oh, look, when I first started at Plunketline, we had the most basic of basic systems. We didn't have access to a whole lot of information. It was really basic. And now we've got access to all the latest evidence-based, up-to-date information at our fingertips. We're doing Facebook Lives. We do the video conferencing service. We do live chat. So, people can type into Aroha and ask us a question, and the nurses will be on the end, replying back to you. So technology has really, really opened up the service for us to communicate with people in so many different ways.
Wow. So how many video calls do you guys take in a year, roughly?
So with the video service, it's just started. With the breastfeeding service, we've taken over 1,000, or we've conducted over 1,000 video calls. With the sleep service, that is coming up to sort of 700, in the late 700s. Really, really popular. We've had to sort of contain it a wee bit, so that we can manage it, because we don't want to be sort of booking people in 3 or 4 weeks ahead to have an appointment. Usually if people have got an issue around sleep and breastfeeding, it's right here, right now. So I need the help here now, not 4 weeks' time. So,
Wow. I love the idea that you guys have just that wealth of information at your fingertips, because if baby's presenting with a rash or something, you've got all the right questions and answers to kind of come to like
Yeah,
okay, take it to the hospital, or I don't know,
yes,
go see the doctor. You'll be okay.
yeah,
You'll probably need a prescription, or that kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The the one thing with well child or Plunket nurses is that we're trained well child nurses, so we know what the well child looks like. We know, what a normal, healthy development for a child is. So anything that's not within that normal range really stands out for us. So we might not know exactly what it is that's not causing it, but we know that something's not right and that needs to go off and be assessed by a doctor or a pediatrician. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's so good. So good.
yeah,
Oh, wow. So Plunketline's like your very own baby consultant. So
yes,
feeding, the works, it's amazing. Can you
yeah,
tell me one or two of your own stories that of calls that you've taken and have been memorable for you?
yeah. Um, I mean, one that I shared with the wider Plunket recently. It was a weekend shift. It was an evening shift on the weekend, and I myself was pretty tired, and had obviously done a lot of sleep calls that night. And I answered the phone with, "Kia ora, welcome to Plunketline. You're speaking with Linda. Who am I sleeping with, please?" And the dear father down the phone goes, "Oh, love, I don't know who you're sleeping with, but you're speaking with Tony." Like, oh, I was mortified. I was like, oh.
Oh, that's so funny.
And that family were great. They had a great sense of humour, and sort of, we got through the call, and then at the end, we sort of all laughed about it. So we do make sort of little faux pas like that you can't take back at times. But look, it's really, really rewarding and positive when you talk. You answer the phone and you've got a mum there who is tearful and just absolutely hit a brick wall. She's just doesn't know what to do with herself anymore. She's just absolutely beside herself. And spending that time on the phone with her and getting, helping work it through what's going on.
Mm,
And then at the end, for that mum to sort of be able to have a wee laugh with you, or, just sort of say, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, I've got a plan now. I've got things in place." Or, during the call, you've been able to arrange for someone to come around and be with her. And yeah. So just hearing that change in that mum from the start of your call to the end of your call,
yeah,
it's so rewarding. Yeah.
that's pretty awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, it really is.
I love that. Gosh, you
Yeah.
guys are doing great. Thank you.
That's all right. We do it because we love it. And yeah, we wouldn't be there otherwise. Like, everyone who's on the end of the phones are there because they really enjoy it. It is a really cool role. And look, it's a real privilege to be there. Like, the families are ringing us, we're not ringing them. They're choosing to ring us. They're choosing to let us in on their parenting journey. And that's pretty special.
Yeah, I see that or I feel that with OHbaby as well. You know,
Yeah,
mums have very limited amounts of downtime and time to
yeah,
themselves, and yet here they are buying a magazine, sitting down and reading it. Like, I've got
yeah.
this ethos that, it's EIEIO. It's got to empower, inform, and encourage and inspire OHbaby readers.
Oh, I love it.
Um, but I guess, it is a privilege. And so
Yeah,
everything that we have, is expert driven, it's real stories, it's
yeah,
inspiring, it's got to look beautiful because this is a little treat. It's our little treat, you know?
absolutely. It is, you're
So,
right. Yeah.
yeah. So I love that
Having that
about,
time to pick up that magazine, and yeah. And
yeah,
it's authentic.
yeah.
That's the other thing that I really like about your magazine is, everything in it is really authentic.
Oh,
Um,
thanks. But
right, it's good.
yeah, thank you. Um, So, just to recap, Plunketline celebrating 30
Yeah.
years, 100,000
Yes.
calls a year, 0800 933 922.
Yep.
I know I've sold everybody on that number. There is no need to be selling that number. Everyone's like, I'm writing it down. I'm putting it in my phone right now.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
cool.
Available 24/7. Your own call up helpline, peace of mind, especially when you're sleep deprived. Absolutely sounds amazing. Is there
Yeah.
anything else that we want to add about Plunketline before we wind up?
Look, just, no question is a silly question and no question is too small. Even right down to things like, how do I cook apple for my baby? If you've never stewed up fruit before, then you're not going to know how to do it, and that's fine. You don't need to. We're there. We can help you. We can tell you how to do it. So no question is a silly question. No question is too small, right? Like, just
Yeah,
ring and ask us. We're happy to help talk and, guide people in the right direction.
that's so good. That's so good.
Yeah.
So, Linda, at the end of each podcast, I might need to change up the question sometimes because I have the same people and then I'm like, oh, you already answered this. But we'll go with this question because you're my first here. You're the first time here. So at the end of each podcast, I ask our guests, what is one thing you said you wouldn't do as a parent that you totally did
Oh my goodness.
or have done?
Yeah, like I said to you earlier, look, my children slept in their own beds. They never slept in my bed. It was something that I just couldn't do. My granddaughters that have come along, all three of them have slept in the pee-pee pod in my bed with me. Yeah, something that I just never did. And I was very strict with my kids about not doing it. But yet my little granddaughters, I don't know, they've softened me. And yep, they've all slept in the pee-pee pod beside me. An amazing inventions, those pee-pee pods. Absolutely love them.
Oh,
Yeah, they're great.
beautiful.
Yeah, but
Do you think that that's potentially also because parenting's changed over the years?
yeah, I think it has, and I think that lots of things
Research.
like having research and study. We know so much more. We're coming up with so many more different ways that we can do things safely, and like having the baby in bed with you. We've got pee-pee pods, we've got wakakutas. There's different things that we can use to help keep our babies safe,
Mm,
and yet still have them beside us. So yeah, gone of the days of, oh no, you mustn't do. Today it's more around, okay, so you want to do that. Let's work out a safe way to do it.
yeah,
So let's come up with something that's going to work for you and your whānau.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. Hey, it's been so good to chat with you. Um,
Oh.
I'll repeat the number again, 0800 922 922. Go Plunketline.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been great to chat. Nice to meet
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Angela. Thank you for having me.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the OHbaby podcast. If you've found this episode useful and encouraging, make sure to share it with your village so that more mothers can feel empowered. Head to ohbaby.co.nz for more from us and don't forget to subscribe. Mama, you got this. Till next time.